everyone. Welcome to the Totally Well Show. I'm your host, Joyce Strong. The Totally Well Show is a place where we get curious, ask questions, and explore everything to do with health, human behavior, fitness, longevity, nutrition, mental health, performance, spirituality, wellness, and all the things it takes to help you live the highest quality, most fulfilling life. My guest today is Michelle Wilson. Michelle is from morelifewithlesscoach.com, and Michelle is a coach and expert in helping people to get organized and find more time to do the things they want to do most. So welcome, Michelle, to the Totally Well Show.
Thank you, Joyce. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm excited to hear more about what you do. Every time I've been with you at a networking event or out in public and I tell people what you do, they say, "Oh my gosh, I need you."
Yes.
So I don't know, you get a big rise out of people when you tell them what you do. So I'm excited to hear more about what it takes to be a coach who helps people get organized and how that ties into our show, health and wellness, and how it makes a higher quality of life.
Absolutely, absolutely. So there is a need. People are busy. They have a lot going on, a lot of commitments. And my main focus is on helping people and coaching people with organization. Also, less things in their life, so they have more time for people than things. And in addition to that, time management. We tend to be overcommitted these days between work and family and children and other commitments outside of that, finding it hard to manage our time. So
how did you get into this? What made you think about being, well, first of all, have you always been organized?
I would say for the best later part of my life, yes, I've been quite organized. I had to learn that skill being in corporate and the high demands of healthcare. And so if I was not organized, I would feel stressed. So in order to help my own health and well-being, I learned the skill of organization myself, did a lot of research on getting rid of a lot of things and a lot of research on managing my time. So I've become a fairly organized person, I would say, at least in the last 15 plus years.
So having known you as long as I have, I get a sense too that it's kind of your personality to be.
Yes, and I might have got that from my mom. Hi, Mom. So she's a very organized person, a little bit more extreme than I would say I am, but and it's not extreme. It's healthy, and so it is in me. I like things put away in places where if I need something, I can find it. I don't like a lot of clutter that causes stress for me in my home or in my office. And it's in me. It's in my personality to be neat, organized, and clean and not have too many choices. Have what you need, not an overabundance of things.
Why would too many choices be a problem?
Well, it becomes overwhelming. So let's say you have 40 sweaters and you're digging through your closet and some are on the top shelf, some are hanging, some are on the bottom, and you've got all these choices and I think paring it down to maybe 7 sweaters is easier because then you have to wash them and sometimes you only have a few choices and it makes it easier.
And those are 7 that you actually wear that really fit you?
Yes, exactly. So yes, getting rid of the things that you don't wear or are damaged and don't fit you it's a good thing to get rid of those things. Yeah.
Why do people not get rid of things? Why do people hang on to stuff?
Well, there's sentimental value to things, and There's the I might fit into it someday, I might grow into it someday. And just I think the mere fact that you made a purchase and it's hard to let go of that because you have an investment in that item. So so there's and you know, that stuff accumulates over time.
Yeah.
And it becomes overwhelming, and you have to feel the burden and the stress of a lot of things when they accumulate over time. And
So you have
Yeah.
sort of a mental inventory of all the stuff.
yes. Actually, I have a mental inventory going on right now about the stuff I have in my attic, because it is that time of year where that's where the holiday stuff is, and I just want to get rid of it all and have a few things.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of stuff up in there. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking about that.
Oh,
And
wow.
the fact that I'm thinking about it is now I have to think about how long it's going to take me to go through it. What am I going to donate? What I have to make piles. What am I going to trash? What am I going to donate? And what am I going to keep?
So that's interesting. What are some of the techniques? It sounds like you started to list some there that you actually have a system of for yourself personally.
Yes.
Not to mention what you'll do, when you coach somebody through
Yes.
this. But you have your own little system of what. Can you give me any more detail about that, like the order that you go
Absolutely.
through things?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I
So-
heard. I'm thinking about it. It comes into your head.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the first step when you think about it.
Yeah.
And then I have a tendency to hit one area or one spot. I found in the past that if I wanted to clean out my home, say, or even my office, I found that to be overwhelming. I'm jumping from room to room. I'm not making much progress, and I'm just not making the headway that I would like to
Let me
make.
take you back just a bit.
Sure.
So the first thing is you thought about it. What happened when you thought about it?
So
What was the feeling?
I was breaking it down in my mind. I was envisioning.
Did something come before that, though? That before the thinking was there?
Well, yeah, the holidays are coming. So this particular thing we're talking about is the holidays are coming.
But I'm sensing
And,
some
yeah,
anxiety or
yeah.
some
Yes.
something doesn't feel good,
No.
and you don't like
Yeah.
the fact that you have all this crap in your attic.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so the first comes the thought, and then the unpleasant feeling.
Yes.
And then a feeling of overwhelm.
Yep.
Okay.
Because there's a lot. There's a lot to do, and I have to carve out the time, and I have to figure out how long it's going to take me. And so
So this is a key piece now, because
yeah.
my tendency would be to say, it's too big, I'm doing something else.
Yeah.
And procrastinate as a way to bring that bad
Yeah.
feeling down.
Yeah, procrastination is, you can distract yourself with other things and shift your focus. And
But you don't.
yeah, no, I don't let it go until I get it done. And there's a lot of people with that type of personality out there. And there are others that are okay with, procrastinating. Or
No one's okay with
the-
procrastinating. No.
Well, I shouldn't say okay with it. I should say they do procrastinate.
Yeah. So you think about it, you don't feel happy in some way, it's an unpleasant feeling.
Yes.
You start to think about how, and
Yes.
I think I heard you say you pick.
Yes, so
You
I have a
select it.
vision of what the outcome I would like to, what I would like the outcome to be. So once
Oh,
I have the
cool.
vision, then I can work off that vision.
Okay.
So for years, we've been getting live Christmas trees
Mm-hmm.
that are enormous. And sometimes when you're picking them out in a field or wherever, you don't realize how big they are until you get home. So then it's like, oh, we don't have enough lights because it's so big. And we don't have enough ornaments, so let's get some more and more. And now I have this vision. I want a small tree with less lights, less ornaments, and less things to unpack and then have to pack up. So, but the Christmas tree is important to the family. It's tradition for us, and so I'm ready. I'm ready this year to tackle this project and and have less things, but still have a beautiful tree. And while I'm doing this, to actually make the effort to donate and or trash anything that's broken, instead of just leaving it in the box and
So
putting it away again.
So you've narrowed down
Yeah.
the item that you want to organize into a project or into a manageable.
Yes, yeah. So I'll sort through, I'll sort through all the decorations. What goes on the mantle, what goes on the tree, what goes on, the dining room table, or dishes. Actually, last year I did donate all of the Christmas dishes to the Epilepsy Foundation. So that was really nice because I felt like I take them out once, I use them once, and up in the attic they go. And we don't need to do that. So, but that was my choice. And
Do you keep anything, like one special thing, even if it's broken, that you just can't seem to say goodbye to?
if it's broken, I have a tendency to donate it or give it away. If it's something somebody else can fix, I would rather have somebody take that, fix it, and get some use out of it. I don't keep broken things, no.
Do you keep anything that you might get rid of, but it has sentimental value that you just have to?
I'm very careful in my selection of things that I donate. Things that are important, that do hold a strong sentimental value to me, that I feel I might regret in the future of letting go of, I would hold on to. A lot of times people can get a box and put those things in a box and put it away. And if you don't touch it or use it or display it and value it for X amount of time, say 6 months or a year, and you take that box out again, then maybe you can make the decision, but you didn't make the rash decision right away to get rid of something that you might regret in the future. But if you're looking for that thing in, say, 20 days and you want it, then you know you're using it and you know you love it.
I did that with some of the kids' clothes.
Yeah.
My memory box.
Yes.
So I put everything in the memory box, and then when I opened it, I was like, "Why am I saving it?" Like years later, I had no idea why I saved it, but it helped me that transition to find.
Yeah, and there can be a very good transition that I can help people with when
Yeah.
it comes to that, because the immediate thing is for a lot of people is they're afraid to let go of certain things because there might be a use in the future, or they might be sad if realizing that they let go of something that they feel they shouldn't have let go of.
Do you ever dig deep? That's really interesting to me because as a coach myself, I do get into these kind of let's dig deeper and figure out why.
Yes.
Do you do that with
Of course,
with people,
yeah.
or do you find that helps people to explore what that attachment is?
Yes, and this goes back to when I was in corporate. I always had to dig to find the root cause, or the root of the problem. And so now doing this and helping people, let's get to the root of it, and let's dig deeper and find what your attachment is, or why you can't put the scissors away in the drawer that it belongs.
So what are some questions you would ask? Like, say that was my problem. I have a ceramic Christmas tree that I don't even like that much.
Yeah.
And half the lights fell off of it. Like,
Yeah.
why am I having so much trouble just putting it in the trash or giving it away?
So where did you get that ceramic Christmas tree from?
Yeah,
Where did it come from?
yeah.
What does it mean to you?
So it might be the memory of the person who gave it to me, or
Yes.
that time in my life.
Yes. And it
So-
could have been a very happy time for you that you don't want to let go of. Could have been a very sad time for you, loss of a loved one, or it could have been just something you saw somewhere and you were in a store and the person that was helping you or assisting you was just such a nice person and you felt really good that day. So there could be a lot of different reasons why you're attached to that item and you just can't seem to let it go. So
Sometimes I found if I took a picture of it to save it,
yes, Yeah.
that helps, like especially with the drawings that the kids made in first grade
Yes.
30 years later.
Exactly. And I still have one of those boxes left in the attic of those pictures. So, but you do what you can when you can do it, and carve out the time to do it. It doesn't have to be all at once or an all or nothing thing. It really just over time, and what you're doing as you're doing it, you're creating habits, and habits to take the burden of things and the things that weigh you down. If you just go to dust and you've just got so much stuff, and you've got to take all that stuff down, while you're doing that, you might want to think about just slowly, okay, this has a chip in it. It doesn't really look good. I'm going to let it go. Or this I don't even like anymore. And just start letting things go.
So sometimes you don't even know
So
why
when
you're
you go to
holding
dust,
onto it.
then a couple months later, the whole process becomes easier.
Yeah.
And it really does help.
So this really sounds like something that you do over a period of time. Maybe
Yes.
you would coach somebody for an entire year and help
Yes,
them
as
build
long as they need me to
Yeah.
coach. Yeah.
and build baby steps.
Yes.
So what are some of the things you notice that people benefit from by learning to have more life with less?
So when you have less things, you have less responsibility
Okay.
and to those particular things. So essentially, you're making room in your life to spend more time, say, outside or with people or with your children, than you are having to tend to all of those things. So if you have 40 sweaters, you have to wash 40 sweaters because eventually you're going to wear them. And your laundry, your dishes. If you have tons of dishes in your cabinets, you just keep piling them up, and you have to spend a lot of time because you're constantly using these things. And if you just have less of those things to tend to, trying to use some probably better examples, but. And it goes back to taking care of your home or your office. All of that clutter and all of the things that are disorganized or the things that you can't find when you need it, removing that all out of your life gives you more time to really spend great time with, people rather than things
So
those things.
I see some real health benefits to this because, again,
Yes.
as a coach, people come to me and I'll say,
Mhm.
well, did you prepare your food? We're talking about nutrition.
Yeah.
I didn't have time. Did you go to the gym?
Yeah.
I didn't have time.
Yeah.
Have you meditated today? I didn't have time.
Yeah.
So time is a big factor. And you're telling
huge.
me if you have less stuff, you can have more time?
That's a potential benefit of that. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. So, in other words, I can find that I have more time to my life and more time to enjoy my family and go out into the world and do things with people now that I don't have the burden of I have to do this, I have to take care of this, I have to put all this stuff away. And it just builds up and builds up. It causes stress, and then you can get resentful because if you don't get this done, then you can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people feel that way. They feel, oh no, I can't go have fun today because I have to take care of all this, all this stuff, all this mess I have,
So you
and all
become
this
slave
clutter.
to the
it,
clutter and the
it
stuff.
weighs you down.
Yeah.
So really paring down to what you really truly need and what you really truly love can give you space to manage your time more. You'll be more effective at your job, at work, if you have less things all around you. I found if I had a remote job as well, so I was at home working. at the time in a very busy environment, work environment. And I couldn't concentrate on work because I was thinking about all the dishes and everything else in the other room that needed to get cleaned up and all the clutter, and or I couldn't find something. There had been days like that because I was just so busy. But once I started paring down the things and didn't have so much things around me, I felt less distracted and more productive during my day, not thinking about the burden of things.
So I have another question about, we talked a lot about stuff and physical things.
Yes.
Now, I know another thing that you help people with and that people need help with from my vantage point is managing their time and their calendar and their commitments. So what are your
Yes.
thoughts on that?
Well, if a client would need help with time management is part of what I offer assistance with, coaching with, and help with, I would definitely ask them questions, questions geared towards the why and, how and what's important to them. What is important to their structure of their days and their weeks or their months. Because, finding out about, who they are, why they struggle with time management, and what their goals are, I think, key factors in helping to coach them along with any, say, recommendations and or assistance with helping them recognize that they have the tools already they need in themselves and pull that out of them.
So you would ask
Yeah.
some questions to get to
Yeah.
know. So if you were
Yes.
coaching me and I was like, well, I have to help my daughter with this and I have to help my son with this and I have this client going, at this office and that client going at that office and I have to exercise. So what kind of things would you
Yeah.
help me with sorting? How would you help me sort all that out?
Well, I would first, maybe suggest that you, or assist you, find out what's most important to you, where your priorities lie. And
Well, I
they
wanna
could-
help people.
They
I
could
wanna-
all be priorities.
Yeah, yeah.
So, so when you have competing priorities, that becomes challenging. And there might be some, taking a look and putting it all out, say, on a calendar. And adding the things in that are your priorities and what's important to you, plugging them into the calendar, and then looking at your calendar and seeing what days you might be overcommitted, where can you get more creative, and if you have this client in this office and this client in this office on the same day, maybe you might want to have two clients in the same office on the same day and change the days. Kind of, instead of letting everyone around you run your day, try to look at it how you're going to run your day. How are you going to make this day successful for you? Because if you're successful, your kids are happy, your clients are happy, and if you didn't fit the time in to take care of your own health and your own priorities, then, you might not be serving people very well.
You can't help anybody.
Yeah.
So, that makes me think about how, like, the reason why behind it, sometimes because of the competing commitments, like you talked about, there'll be a big assumption. So, for example, what
Yes.
you just said with, I have a client here and a client there, maybe I need to ask that person to change. So my big assumption, one of them to change, to make my schedule more consolidated. And what I've discovered is I have this commitment to not bother people. I made a commitment to be there that time, and I want to fulfill that commitment, and I don't want to create any more work for that person. So my big assumption is I'm creating work for them. And what I found, sometimes they're like, oh my God, I had the same problem. Thank God you called.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and so
true.
it's often my big assumption to not even,
Yeah.
and you said kind of thinking outside the box. I think that's really helpful to clients to
Yeah,
get them
sure.
to have another person to talk to and to sort out
Yep.
what's going on. Michelle, we have about 2 minutes left, and I always like
Okay.
to save this part of the show to ask, and I'm going to flip over my page so I say
Sure.
it the way I like to say it. What are the top, take your time, but we have 2 minutes.
Okay.
What top 3 things does it take you, Michelle, to live a totally well life?
So my top 3 things or priorities for myself are my mind, because I feel with a healthy mind and taking the time to clear my mind and really focus on positive things. That's really a work in progress over many years for me.
So positive thinking.
Positive thinking.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Positive thinking and really, letting go of any frustrations or challenges and look at them in a positive light. So that's important to me, and I'm working on my body, my health with my body. That's a work in progress too for me. I think we're all a work in progress all the time. So getting to healthy weight and getting to creating healthy habits is important to me. So that's the top 3. Well, that's 2. One more thing is continuing to strive to help others to be successful, as I'm continuing to strive to help myself to be successful. So I get a lot of joy and reward out of helping people and seeing the outcomes.
So that's so just by virtue of you helping people and watching them grow, that
Yes.
that lights something up in you to have you be more healthy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
It's motivational, and it's even if I'm not successful, with myself or with somebody else, that's okay, but I just keep striving for that.
Yeah. There's no perfection.
No,
Yeah.
none.
Yeah. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for visiting me today on the
Yes.
Totally Well Show. I've really enjoyed hearing more about how you work with clients and what coaches do in general in this space. So thank
Yeah.
you again for sharing. And I hope to have you back sometime. We can dig deeper in a certain area,
Sure.
maybe even tackle a project of how we would clean out our Christmas attic.
Yes. I'll let you know how that works out.
Yeah,
But thank you
definitely.
for having me. It's been
Okay.
a great pleasure.
All
Thank
right,
you so
thanks.
much.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in to the Totally Well Show.